A lot of rappers still, it seems like, want to be Tupac. They want to have his popularity. They want people to love them like everyone loves him. But why do you think no one's succeeding?
Well, because this is what they fail to realize about Tupac. In order for them to be Tupac, they would have to die before they peaked. Right before they peaked, they would have to die. So if you don't die, you can't do it. Bottom line, if you don't go die, you're not gonna be the next Tupac, because it ain't gonna be a next Tupac. Straight up.
My mother was a Black Panther, and she was really involved in the movement.
Dear mama.
Now, were you and Pac on good terms when he passed? Because I know y'all had a kerfuffle once.
No, I kind of that's a strange, because he did apologize.
What was the kerfuffle? I don't remember.
How do you forget that?
I don't know.
Classic moment.
I don't know.
Tupac put hands on the Hughes brothers, and you remember he was on Yo MTV Raps, and Ed Lover was trying to cover his mouth and say, because he was talking about putting hands on.
That's how I won the case.
Really?
Yep.
For him doing MTV.
You think?
I had a shitty attorney. First of all, just so you know, after it happened, because it was 10 guys that.
So what happened for people that don't know? This,
Oh my God, this is the
people,
story.
A lot of people don't know.
I didn't sleep enough to tell this story. Well, we eventually had to fire him from Menace because he was just becoming a handful, and I could tell there was no way for us to. It was starting before Menace, and I tried to work it out with him, but he just, in my opinion, wasn't being reasonable, and I'm sure he would say the same of me.
Of course.
And this is between me and him.
How do you fire Tupac, though?
Say again?
How do you fire Tupac? Who had that conversation?
Who had that conversation? Who walks in that trailer?
It was in pre-production, so we were in rehearsals where we had several little blowouts. And then I called him later that night. Well, he told me to call his manager. I called his manager. His manager's like, well, Tupac this, Tupac that. Let me talk to Tupac. Called Tupac. He goes, I'm not talking to you. Talk to my manager. I said, like, there's no way we can't do this, Tupac. Like, if I can't talk to you, I'm going to have to let you go. Talk to my manager. So next day I went to New Line Cinema and I said, we got to let him go.
Oh, so you didn't want to fire him?
No.
You wanted to work it out?
No, I wanted to work it out.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was making a lot of money. And by the way, to Tupac's credit, he was one of the reasons why the movie got greenlit, because they wouldn't greenlight it unless we had someone of note or a platinum artist in the film. And Tupac, as a friend, signed on early and helped us with that film, And I remember the termination letter, and that's what happened. He got terminated, and there was rumors that Tupac was looking for us. And I'm not going to make this about my brother, because this is the decision I made. I dealt with the actors. Albert was out there scouting locations when this happened, But anyway, we pulled up in the Spice One music video for the soundtrack, Trigger Has No Heart, Got No Heart, I can't remember the title. And I saw Tupac sitting there with 10 gangsters, already liquored up and high.
So you knew what it was.
Yeah, and that's what happened. I'll just make this story short, because it got bloody, it got brutal on me. And but what was the point I was making?
Did you fear for your life in that?
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was a wrap. I mean, in the middle of it, when the beatdown was going down, I saw the blood, felt the blood. I mean, the thing that was a miracle was because I had never been beat up before. I'd never. I've been in a lot of fights, but I'd never been beat down. And I'm not no fighter ass dude either, so I'm not trying to act like I got hands or anything like that. But I just remember going, damn, I don't feel anything. I was amazed by what the adrenaline does. And I had to go to the hospital. It was that bad, and that's what happened.
And you said him on Yo MTV Raps is what got you.
So what happened? That's it. You got the point. So there was a mutual friend, mutual friends. I'm like, just tell him to meet me in the park. I was like, meet me in the park, man. I'm not threatening you. I've seen people hug, tongue kiss, catch a beat down the park. Whatever it is, let's resolve it as men, just one-on-one.
What did you want?
I just wanted
hug
to
a tongue kiss.
I'm just saying that's what I see in the park.
Okay, got you.
I've seen all kinds of things go down in the park,
And this was in LA or New York?
In LA.
In LA.
And I just kept getting rejected. And I said, all right, so that's when I took it to court. And I had a real shitty attorney. And I'm in the preliminary stage. I go, you know what? Pull the MTV, that moment you're talking about, where he's threatening and re-threatening.
And he confessed to it.
Yep. And
Confessed
says,
that he did it,
yep.
and said he's gonna do it again.
Yeah, when I catch him in traffic, I said, pull the tape, let's show that to the jury. When they showed that tape to the jury, you should have saw their faces. That's what won the case.
Wow.
Who's that Lover too? Ed Lover was trying to save Pac from himself.
Yeah, he was trying. He was trying. Yeah, I remember now. He was trying to cover his mouth and he couldn't show it. I remember. Yeah,
crazy.
How did you feel when you first saw that on your MTV Raps? Did you see it yourself? Or,
Yeah. I saw it live.
How did that make you feel as a person? And how did that impact your life?
You know, that's a great question. Because when I did Dear Mama, it was the first time I realized, like, oh, there was trauma. That, you know, me, I'm just like, just move past it. I never really recognized the thing. So at the time, it was surreal. Tupac was one of the most surreal motherfuckers on the planet. Like, anything he did, it was like surreal. So it wasn't real. It wasn't. I don't remember feeling like, oh my God, I got to watch out for myself. I remember with Tupac, because we were so much contemporaries, and I knew him intimately. Like we spent a lot of time like as friends together. I didn't fear him like that, and he wasn't the image to me that people thought he was. I actually saw more of the sensitive, understanding side of Tupac than anything. The well-read side of Tupac, the reasonable side of Tupac. So when I saw him doing that, I think something in me was like, he's grandstanding, and you know, I can't wait to see him again without the dudes. Not like let's fight, but I can't wait to see him again without the dudes.
I think some people are concerned that you might try to paint Pac in a negative light because of that situation with Dear Mama. Because I remember when they first announced it, I saw people that are close to Pac online saying like, no, why is he doing Dear Mama? Like, what story is he going to tell?
What kind of bitch ass shit would I be on to, first of all, not be proud of like the icon he's become? And why would I want to shit on that? If anything, the reason why I took the job was I want to understand him more. And I'm trying to understand, like, and I don't want, you go around the world, Africa, South America, Asia, Europe, you see that mural. You don't see anyone around the world like that. I don't give a fuck who it is. Like, you don't see him in Africa like you see Tupac. And I always looked when I was traveling, I go, man, I wonder, he's the strange, paradoxal, if I can use that word, 20th century figure that you can project anything you want to into. Lover, fighter, saint, sinner, poet, philosopher, violence, whatever you want to see, you'll see in Tupac. You know, I've noticed that about him. He's almost biblical in that way. But I was upset by that. I'll go, what's the true meaning of this journey? And I had to go back to his mother to find that. And that fight for social justice and what he truly stood for, what his true morals were. So when people were saying all that stuff and they continue to say stuff about me, is like, and as black men and as black boys, I think it's really dangerous for us not to acknowledge, like, you know, the trauma and trying to heal it too, trying to get some understanding. Absolutely. Like, why would I come into this? And my arrogance, my only confidence in this whole journey was like, you know what? I just don't feel like his story was ever done justice in the documentaries and the features.
Really?
I just feel like it was always surface stuff, and not to knock anyone, because there was some docs and some stuff that was decent, but you know, all the power of cinema that I can bring in emotions and spiritual, psychological, sensual, like, I just want to understand him, you know, and you can't judge. The audience can feel too when you're judging someone like that. That's you can't do that. I say too, like, Tupac is on. It's like your grandma has MLK, JFK, and Jesus over there. Tupac's on that other wall. So you got to be real mindful when you're dealing with something like that.
So break down.
Yo, YouTube, what up? It's your homie Gab. I'm in the building, and this is MAKAVELI Media. So Alan Hughes, director of Menace to Society, is directing the new Tupac Shakur documentary on FX called Dear Mama. And a lot of people, like myself included, have always raised the question, would Alan Hughes be the right man for the job, being his rocky relationship he had with Tupac? And today, on The Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy, he was asked that exact question. And in all honesty, I was satisfied with the answer he gave, because he gave the whole backstory to how him and Tupac got into a fight because he fired Tupac from the cast of Menace to Society. But this time, he even cleaned that up. Before, he said Tupac punch felt like a Nerf football hit him. This time, he said his adrenaline was so high that he didn't get hurt. He didn't feel, being stomped out like that. The last time he talked about this with Sway, he also said that he challenged Tupac to a fight one-on-one at the park. This time he said, well, he didn't necessarily mean fight. He just wanted to meet man to man, face to face, and try to squash their beef. So at least he did keep the Tupac fans in mind when he started telling, his version of the truth that seemed a little far-fetched, but my opinion once again. But he said, he just wants to bring Tupac's story some justice. And he feels like Tupac's story was never told correctly. If that is the case and him and Tupac did squash their differences and Tupac apologized to him years later before he passed, I have no problem with it. Allen Hughes and his brother are both very, very, very talented movie directors. Fantastic storytellers, and probably the right guy for the job, and Allen Hughes. So with that being said, I'm eager to see what he presents with the FX Dear Mama. What's your opinion? Did Allen Hughes really get over that ass whipping? And he ready to tell a fantastic Tupac story? Or deep down inside below the surface, is he still holding a grudge? Don't forget to sub to the channel. This is Makaveli Media. Give this video a big thumbs up and turn on them post notifications so you be the first ones to get it when I drop that shit. It's been a pleasure as always. I'm signing off. I'm your homie Gab. I'm about to hit y'all with the peace.